Siyan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. So we are the Pegasus Institute. We are an NGO based here in Canada. We work on the nexus of peace, environmental sustainability, and health for all. We have one of our knowledge exchange for our networks is things like such as this webinar. So we have different types of networks, the East African Network, the Emerging Leaders Network. We have a Francophone network. We have a Latin American network, as well as we have an emerging Middle Eastern network that is in the works. So we have quite active engagement across the world, it seems. And so we're very, very happy to always showcase speakers that are in the regions where our networks and our members reside. So without further ado, I will pass it on to you.
Thank you so much to everyone who has joined, and very nice to meet you all. So, just a quick introduction. My name is Sian, and I'm currently based in Nairobi, Kenya, but I grew up in Kampala, Uganda. After I graduated from university in Scotland, studying international business, I moved back to Uganda to support my family business, which was growing roses and herbs for export to the UK and the EU. After that, I applied for a fellowship program, which is where I met Gigi, or Gertrude. I was based in Kyrgyzstan for about 8 months with Aga Khan Foundation. And then after that is where I applied for One Acre Fund and moved to Nairobi, Kenya. So yeah, firstly, it feels great to be back, in the region where I grew up, where I was raised, and giving back to, this ecosystem and doing what I love as well, which is in the sector of agriculture. Cool. So, just to give you a brief overview of One Acre Fund, or actually, firstly, who here has heard of One Acre Fund? I feel like Vito probably has.
Mhm. I have.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So yeah, basically, One Acre Fund currently operates in I think 9 countries. I think DRC is missing from that list. We've just launched in DRC, where we've started a pilot program, which is quite exciting. We are basically in the whole of East Africa. I think we actually started a program in India, but we canceled that and decided to, just solely focus on Africa, which, we believe is, going to be eventually the food basket, the future food basket of the world. So, yeah, who are we? So basically, we focus on supplying farmers with exactly what they need. So we don't just, come in and give farmers free money or, buy from farmers. We really focus on giving them exactly what they need in order to grow the best possible product, in order to create farmer resilience, in terms of climate resilience. And we also focus on, ensuring farmers get the right incomes from their produce. So basically, as you can see here, we provide training specifically on crop health, soil health, which builds into the aspect of climate resilience. We train farmers what not to apply, what to apply. Obviously, I'm sure you guys are aware, but the EU, the US have become super, stringent into what product they receive. So in terms of what product we export from here and what product they receive, there's a lot of regulations, certifications, and standards that have to be met. And if farmers are here, putting banned pesticides or using the wrong chemical on their produce, that then makes Kenya less competitive compared to Mexico, for example, or Spain, to for their products, for Kenyan products to enter global markets. So we really focus on training and upskilling farmers. We also then supply our farmers with agriculture inputs such as seed, fertilizer, and trees as well. So when I mean seed, you think that farmers can, show up to any shop and purchase seed, but there's a lot of fake seed in the markets, which then leads to bad harvests and also leads to people, not even wanting to go into agriculture, or, the certifying bodies or the regulators coming and shutting the farm down because of this. So we ensure that farmers receive, certified, qualified, healthy seeds, as well as fertilizer at, subsidized rates, also on credit schemes, which allows them to then pay back, at a rate which is convenient for them. So, moving on to our stories directly from the field, I think I won't really talk through this, but as you can see from the next slide, we focus on our farmers. Farmers are essentially our clients. This is why we operate as a business. So, as you can see here, I can just read out this one for you. But I saw how One Acre Fund helped my parents move from hardship to stability. When I got married, I wanted to bring that same change to my new family. So I think for us, this is something that's very touching to actually see the impact that's being made on the ground. One of the projects that I've actually been working on with Mastercard Foundation is how to get more youth into agriculture, essentially. We've seen that, youth want to come into, the more urban areas and become boda drivers, or, go into tech. But we feel that, agriculture is the way forward and should not be neglected. And there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of, income to be earned, and youth don't see that opportunity. So I think through these stories, we're really able to also bring more youth on board to agriculture. I think it's also, agriculture is seen as, a family kind of job, or your parents, something your parents do in the backyard, here in Kenya. And so we want to kind of modernize that, through aspects of tech, through aspects of training, and really build that attractiveness up for youth. So yeah, basically a highlight on our 2023 impact figures. I thought I would share our 2023, as our 2024 still being finalized. Obviously, you can imagine it's a lot of data to collect, and so we do have quite a big MEL team to collect this data. So yeah, basically we have a goal of reaching 10 million farmers by 2030. And as you can see, we're almost halfway to that goal, which is amazing. So this 10 million basically, refers to unique farmers, as well as farmers that have been indirectly impacted by our services as well. So, through our different countries and expanding operations in each country, we're really able, to meet targets year on year. And so we are on target, which is quite exciting. Moving to the next slide, which is our cultural elements. As you can see previously from the slide prior to the impact figures, is that we really put farmers first. So I think, something that attracted me to work for One Acre Fund is, part and parcel is that we put farmers first. It's a company where it's modeled as a social enterprise. And so, yes, we do strive to make money, but that money is all reinvested back into the company to ensure that our farmers get the right service they need. We are approximately 75% self-funded through our services that we offer to farmers and through our market access, which I will get to in the next few slides. So yeah, we do think like a business, but we also do have that element, where, of course, we do get about 25%, from donor funding, investors, which we use for R&D, innovation, and aspects which help us grow to the next phase. We do really focus on going to the field as well. For example, I have already been yesterday to the factory. The other week, I went to our macadamia factory. And so, we make sure that within our work, we're not just sat behind our laptops in offices or working from home. We make sure that we're going to the field and really learning and understanding, what is happening in the field. Moreover, we also, focus on growing through feedback. I think that's a very important cultural element within companies. We have sessions, mid-year, end of year, where we, sit down with our manager and really focus on how we can improve. And then, yeah, of course, leading by example and diversity and rallying together. So I think all in all of these culture elements make up people within One Acre Fund. And you will never find, one person with One Acre Fund who doesn't have one of these cultural elements. So yeah, I think it's definitely a great place to work just because you're working with like-minded people to get where you want to be with having the same vision as well. Cool. So yeah, that's a brief overview of One Acre Fund. Now I will dive into Tupande. Basically, Tupande, which means, we grow together,
Mm.
is the registered Kenyan company for One Acre Fund and where I am currently working. I just joined Tupande actually in February of this year. Previously, I was working with One Acre Fund also, but with the growth unit. So that's all of the other countries apart from Kenya and Rwanda that are our new and upcoming countries. But yeah, it's exciting to now, be solely based in Kenya and focus on to Pandey's vision. I think with working with the growth unit, I was quite stretched over different countries, and I was obviously working from Kenya, but it's hard to see the impact when you're so far away. And so I thought it would be good for me to work for, the country where I am currently based as well. So yeah, basically, Tupande, we operate in 5 regions across Kenya. So as you can see from the map, these are the main 5 regions that we are. We're also based at the coast, which is a recent development. And so we are, yeah, currently focusing on those regions, not really looking to expand, but focusing on, giving farmers the best service within those specific regions. So basically, Tupande is split into 2 departments. We have Asili and we have Soko. So Asili focuses on, the tree distribution, the innovation, the lending services, the training, the online training, and monitoring, evaluation, and learning. Then we have Soko, which is the department that I sit in. Soko means market in Swahili. So essentially, we focus on providing smallholder farmers with access to higher value and more secure markets than they would currently be selling to. So we specifically focus on 2 value chains, that is the avocado value chain and the macadamia value chain. So we focus on collecting produce from smallholder farmers, specifically avocado and macadamia. We purchase them and then we process them and then we export them. Then we have the new value chains department, which is where I sit within SOCO. In the new value chains department, we basically focus on, exploring new value chains that would be beneficial for farmers and also beneficial for SOCO to venture in on. And so we are currently venturing into the dried fruit business as well as avocado oil. And so the project that I'm currently running is setting up the dried fruit business, which is quite exciting. Cool. So yeah, that was a brief overview of Asili and Soko. Now a bit of a deep dive into Asili. So in Asili, we have 4 main departments. We have retail sale, where we have shops that are basically containers. So they're old, like 20-foot or 40-foot containers that we have basically converted into dukas or shops. Duka means shop in Swahili. What we do in these shops is we sell agriculture inputs. We also have an online app which farmers can use to purchase these products. They can arrange for pickup after they've made the online purchase, as well as payment. They can also register as a 1 acre fund farmer where they have a credit scheme and they can pay for the product once their harvest is back. Once their harvest is done, they would essentially put a down payment, and then once their harvest, if it's 6 months or 3 months later, they would then pay 1 acre fund back slowly until they're able to harvest and sell that product. What happens with the Asili team is they also obviously, since they're responsible of issuing the loans, they also, have to collect the loans. We do have a high repayment rate just because of all of the services that we offer farmers. It's not like, we're just giving them loans. We also offer them training, we offer them seedlings, and we also offer them some free seedlings. So, it's a whole kind of package. And so that's why our repayment rates are usually quite high, because we really focus on establishing relationships with these farmers, rather than letting them out, left on their own, essentially. Then onto the training. So I can give you an example of one of the trainings that we're about to launch. Basically, as part of, our youth push in agriculture, we have, offered youth across Kenya subsidized seedlings for avocado, macadamia, and papaya as well, because we believe that these products, can gain high value for the farmers and increase their incomes. And so we sold these seedlings to farmers, and now we're focusing on digitalized trainings that we're sending to farmers on how to raise these seedlings. So again, we're not leaving farmers, we're selling a seedling and we're saying it's up to you to now grow it. We're providing support to those farmers through digital training, which is quite exciting. So now farmers will be able to access through their phone these digital trainings. Then we have product strategy, which Asili also focuses on. We're currently exploring which new crops to go into for our smallholder farmers and doing some R&D there as well. Then a deep dive into Soko. So basically, Soko involves the purchase of products from the clients. So in Asili, I've mentioned we're providing inputs. We're really focusing on the production element. Although we're not ourselves as 1 acre fund growing, we're leaving that to the farmers, but we're providing them with the tools to really grow the best crop. Then Soko, we purchase these crops from farmers. So after they've grown the crop, we go out and we, speak to the foreign markets, the international markets, where farmers can fetch the highest value, and we choose those products. So those products that we've decided on are macadamia and avocado. And then obviously I just mentioned we're venturing into fruit as well. We also, offer to sell some of these products locally. We've just launched on Green Spoons, which is a high-end supermarket in Kenya, and we've just launched our macadamia on Green Spoons as well. The benefits of the market access department is that, it both supports our farmers and 1 acre fund. So as you can see from Asili, we sell our fertilizer, but there's only so much reach that you can kind of establish through the inputs. And where we're seeing that, we're looking to expand and we're seeing there's a lot more opportunity is with buying back products from farmers, so providing them with suitable markets. So yeah, basically it increases impact obviously through new income streams, through crop diversification, and also improves income for crops sold through informal channels currently, where farmers fetch very low prices and we allow them to fetch higher prices because of, our brand and because of the way that we train and upskill farmers. Then obviously we have reduced risk. Basically, farmers will really experience price swings when they are going out to sell their product. One day avocado will be X price and another day it will be Y price. But One Acre Fund really allows for a steady price because of the prices that we're able to get from international markets. There's also, we have a lot of government interventions here. We have export bans. A couple of months ago, we had a ban, the government banned export of avocado, or price control of macadamia. And so One Acre Fund really lobbies against, these interventions that are harmful to farmers. And we really, yeah, lobby for these and allow for a better operating environment for farmers as well. Of course, it's tricky for farmers to, already go and invest in avocado or macadamia if they don't have guaranteed markets. But we offer them these guaranteed markets. So essentially, on the dried fruit business that I'm starting up, we've said we've connected with traders, we've connected with farmers, and we've said, we'll happily take all the banana, all the mango that you have, and we'll be able to process it and sell it. We're guaranteeing you that. So that's obviously a big benefit to farmers, and so they like working with us because of that. Essentially, SOCO has four key departments. The first one being aggregation and extension. So this is where we go out and we have a team of aggregators and extension workers that go out into the field, connect with farmers, understand their challenges, train the farmers, and essentially do quality checks in the field to ensure that the product we are getting in is sellable, is processable, is workable to One Acre Fund. So this, I would say, is what is basically the most important element of our team is aggregation and extension. It all starts here. So without this, and if we were just relying on, brokers or traders to bring us product, I think we would definitely have a lot of issues in our model. Just because we may face a lot of rejection at the factory level where the product coming in is not suitable for processing. But the aggregation and extension team really mitigates these risks. And as I said, builds relationships with farmers, to ensure that they're being paid on time, to ensure that the product we're getting is harvested on time rather than early or late. And so, yeah, this is the core and the core of our team, basically. Then we move on to processing and export logistics, which is something that we also manage. So here we have a macadamia factory based in Sagana. We have the dried fruit factory, which has just been set up in Ruiru, which I'm managing. And we have avocado processing, which we outsource to a few pack houses around Kenya. So essentially, here is where we add value to the product. So for the dried fruit, we recently procured a machine, a drying machine, which will allow us to dry the fruit, so reduce the moisture content within the fruit, and then package it and export it. For macadamia, we have several steps in our processing line and several different types of macadamia. You can imagine that actually come out of a macadamia nut. And so that all happens at this stage. And then we also have our own trucks and we also outsource trucks where, we we'll send the product to the port for onward shipping to the countries that we are selling to. We mainly try focus on international markets just because they fetch higher value for farmers. And if we were selling locally, we would then only be able to pay our farmers less. And so we think there's more opportunity to then export the product. But we have started venturing into, as I mentioned, on the macadamia high-end retail. So packaging high-end and selling through Green Spoons, which is a high-end supermarket as well. Then moving on to the sales, we have a big global sales team. So we have, and we have people based in Europe, we have people based in the US who go to the trade fairs, who really have a good network of, clients that we are able to sell to. And so we have that team. So we on the ground don't have to worry about that. We know that whatever we produce, our sales team will be able to sell. And so that's obviously crucial to this full operation. Then we have the new value chains, which I've already mentioned. And this is a super important department because, as we explore new value chains to work in, we can support farmers in different levels, different processing, whether it's oil or dried or freeze dry. There's so many opportunities, and we'll be able to give farmers, better value for their product. But the interesting thing about processing as well is, you're able to buy the A grade for export fresh, but then you can also buy the B grade, which farmers would otherwise throw away, which you can process for oil. But yeah, so essentially, I think I'm extremely happy that I am based in the new value chains department, just because it's kind of like an R&D department, but it's also implementation. So if you do research and you do cash flows and you come up with a good idea to say that I think we should invest in this because it supports farmers in this kind of model, and it also benefits One Acre Fund as it generates more income for One Acre Fund, as well as impacting farmers. And then go ahead, get approvals and implement it, which is super cool to now see that the dried fruit project is actually kicking off and breaking ground, which is very exciting. Cool. So I think that kind of brings me to the end of the presentation.
Thank you so much, Sian, for taking the time. If anyone has any additional questions for her, please feel free to email Pegasus and we can get in touch and share your questions for her response. Thank you so much for joining. I know it's quite late in your respective countries, and we'll see you in a month's time for our next session. Thank you so much, Sian. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you so much, everyone, for having me, and have a good rest of the day.